It's time for your home with Elise McCollumn from Bullfrog Construction on AM 1480 WLEA. Here's Elise.
Good morning and welcome to your home. My name is Elise McCollumn from Bullfrog Construction, and I'm glad you've joined us this morning. I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes. Your Home is a bi-weekly talk show focusing on all aspects of home ownership. Each show will feature a guest or guests who specialize in some aspect of home maintenance, repair, remodeling, and any and all aspects of the home, both inside and out. And as a reminder, if you have a question or a concern, you can email me at elise@bullfrogconstructionllc.com. If you have a question or a concern you'd like us to talk about on the show, you can email me at elise@bullfrogconstructionllc.com. But now, let's meet our guest professionals for the week. This morning I'm joined by Jeff Button, the regional regional manager for Armor Building Supply, and a very special guest this morning, Eric Biscaro, who is the founder and CEO of Armor Building Supply. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Elise. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys could come and join us today. Now, Armor is a family-owned business started in Batavia, New York. They just celebrated their 30th year of business and have expanded over the years to 5 showroom locations. That's right, 5 showroom locations: Batavia, Canandaigua, Olean, Elmira, and right here, the hub in Hornell, New York at 7288 Seneca Road, North in Hornell. That's 7288 Seneca Road North, right here in Hornell. And Armor's main focus, guys, is specializing in your home's exterior needs, including windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, porches, made-to-order vinyl decking and railings, also vinyl fencing, all custom made for your project right here in Hornell in their fabrication shop, which is really cool. Everything comes out of this hub right here in Hornell. And Armor's knowledgeable staff are ready to help you and can be reached at 607-661-4114. That is 607-661-4114. Good morning, guys. I'm glad you could join me again. I'm so happy that you're here. Eric, I'm glad to see you this morning. I know you're a busy guy. To get the CEO of a company in a busy company like yours is a great thing to get you in here to talk with us this morning. So, backed by popular demand this week, we're going to be talking about windows, both new construction and replacement. And I can't stress enough, I've had so many people tell me that they enjoyed the show on windows, and I know the importance of windows, especially this time of year. I'm just excited that we're going to spend another show here talking about all the different variables on windows. But before we get started, we need to give out the Bullfrog tip of the week. And this week's tip is lube a sticking vinyl window or door. When vinyl windows and doors don't operate smoothly, it's usually because there's gunk is built up in the channels, but sometimes even clean windows and doors can bind. Try spraying a dry PTFE spray, something like a WD-40 or something like that. Lubricant. No, Eric's shaking his head at me.
And a WD-40. Use
a silicone spray. Okay.
Yeah, WD-40.
And actually spray it on the window and wipe it off and clean the window with that, and you'll have a clean window and it'll be lubricated extremely well. Perfect. So that's what we want, the PTFE spray, lubricant, the silicone spray. I think WD-40 makes a silicone spray. I'm pretty confident. If they do, that'll be fine.
Yeah, perfect. We don't want the buildup and the all the gathering of the dirt and everything. So spray that on the contact points, wipe it off with a rag. Don't use oil lubricants. They can attract dirt, and some can even damage the vinyl, from what I understand. You can put it on, it could cause damage.
Yes.
There's a couple different kinds of windows. Obviously, the most popular would be new construction and replacement. What is the difference between a new construction window, where would I use that, versus a replacement window, and when would I use, is there times when I might use a new construction window on a house that's already constructed, versus a replacement window?
Yeah. Well, the main difference with a new construction and replacement, the window itself is generally built the same way, and you can get the same specs and options in most cases. The difference on a new construction window is you pick the window, you pick the size ahead of time, and then you build the opening for it. It may come with a nail fin, most likely, that works with a new construction window.
Yep.
But really, it's you pick the product, the windows, and again the specifications, and then you build the opening for it. In replacement, the opening is there, so you custom size that window to fit the opening that's there, so you're not tearing up the rest of the house inside or out. But you can get all the same specifications on it, and put it in so it fits like a glove. And there's your biggest differences on the two right there. The windows themselves are the same window virtually.
Right. So Jeff, what if I have a fairly newer home? I don't live in a 100-year-old home, with the old weights in the frames and everything. I live in a newer home, and it has a built-in J channel on my window, but my window's seal failing. It's just not a good window. And it's really not suited to put a replacement window into at that point, but I've got vinyl siding on my house. These are some of the issues, we deal with at Bullfrog Construction when we're in the field and we're out doing windows. It's different than changing a window out of an old house. What would we do in that case?
And there again, you'd have to go to a new construction nail flange window to replace that. You'd have to remove a little siding, unhook a little siding.
You'd do what we call a full frame replacement. You would have it built as a new construction window, but custom size it so it fits the opening that you're talking about. But you'd pull that whole frame out, and you pull the aluminum out because that does have a nail fin on it. You'd have to pull some siding, like Jeff said, and then you put this in because you have it made to the size that you have right there. Unless you want to change the size, which you can, of course.
So we're going to have to loosen some siding up around the window,
right.
And we're basically going to put the same window back in there that we take out, except for it's going to be a new window with the new features, the same size window back in.
A dramatically different window.
Yes, exactly.
Back to the original rough opening that was built in the house whenever it was built.
And people can probably figure that they're going to pay more for that installation, I would think. There's a lot more to it with taking the siding back and putting the siding back on, and
you get a whole new frame. You get more of
you do.
Right there. You get when you do replacement, typically they're capping the exterior with aluminum cladding.
Correct.
So you're not paying for that. So it's just two different ways of doing it, and in the situation you described, you really need to do it that way.
Yeah, you really do. So that's great. The next thing I really wanted to talk about is there's a lot of windows out there. Everywhere you go, there's ads on TV. There's things in every home center you walk in's got a window that they're selling. Are all windows created equally? I mean, as far as why am I paying for a 30 by 60 window? I'm paying $125 at one place, but for that same 30 by 60 window somewhere else, I'm paying $350 for that window.
Well, where you're going to get the window for that $125, and you could be pulling out your old window that's painted shut and have a storm window on there, and you could be pulling that out and putting in the new window that has standard insulated glass that's been around since the 1800s, and you could be putting that in there and really not changing your efficiency one bit. You may have a vinyl window that tilts for cleaning, and it'll be mostly maintenance free. It won't have the mechanics in the window like block and tackle balances, and it just won't have the things that make a window.
That's very, very important, and I want to talk about that, Eric, when we get to construction of the windows.
And you won't have the glass. I mean, today, as you've seen, Elise, in the glass kits where we can show the difference, it's dramatic, the difference in glass. Even though they both look like the same piece of glass.
They look identical.
It's night and day what you get on there. So if you want to improve your window, you go for today's latest glass, and you go for the tightest windows with the right air infiltration, that really limits that, and you make a big difference in your home.
So there is a huge difference between a $125 window and a $325 window generally.
Yes, and I'll tell you that one of the biggest differences is that $125 window will never pay for itself. A $300 window will do it in quite a short period of time.
Exactly.
I can give an example. Jeff, do you have anything to add to that?
I was just going to say, Eric always uses an analogy with cars, and I'm going to use Dodges. You go to Gary Harwood down there, and you look at a Dodge pickup. There's a base model, and there's a deluxe model, and there's a difference. 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. The windows are exactly the same as any product. You get what you pay for.
Yeah. So what I've noticed, and I've put in, lots and lots and lots of windows, and I've had the customers say to me, Elise, I can't believe how much quieter my house is. They say it's just so much quieter, and I can't believe, with the air, because we just went through summer, so the people haven't had the heating experience yet. For this particular year of windows we've installed, they're all saying, I can't believe how much cooler my house is inside. I don't have to run the AC as much. My house is a lot cooler inside. So there again, there's got to be a big difference between and we're going to get down and talk about that in a minute. And when people get new windows in their homes, it's one of the happiest things that they get in their homes. Sure. They're so happy when they get new windows. Every single one of them compliments. They all love it. It looks so nice. The glass is so clear. There's so many improvements to it. And like you said, with the efficiency today, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to actually talk about the efficiency here in just a minute, and what it can do for us, how we can save money. So the next thing is, there's a lot of different kinds. What is the best kind of window for me in my house? I mean, is there, when I say kind, I'm talking about, should I get a single hung, a double hung? Should I get an awning window? Should I get a casement window? There's a lot of different kinds of windows, right? You guys would agree. Right. So what is the best windows for my house? How do I know what's the most, going to work best for me?
Well, a lot of it is personal preference of what kind of look you're going for, what kind of sight lines you want out your window, depending on what you're looking at. Ease of operation, ease of cleaning. I mean, a double hung is the easiest to clean. It tips in, you can clean it from the inside.
Yes, it does.
Casement's pretty easy to clean too. You can reach out through, but a casement gives you a lot more glass and less frame. So, and I think that a casement and awning is a little, although, is a little more efficient usually.
A little bit.
Yep.
It would be for the air infiltration.
It will be for air infiltration. It's hot. It's a better number.
I'll take the. In some windows, for one of our major brands is Sunrise. In that window, it's slightly better with a casement. In most brands, a casement is dramatically better because the double hungs in most brands have quite a bit of air infiltration, and in the casements, they close like a door. You hit the latches on them, it
and
pulls them
boom,
in tight.
it's locked right shut.
Most of them are somewhat tight for air. Yeah. So
I have casement windows in my house, and I have some double hungs in it as well. And I have. It's very good. My house is a fairly big house. I'm very, very happy with the decisions that I made. Jeff, you mentioned sight line. What do you mean by sight line? What it looks like from the outside of the house, or what are you talking about sight line?
I mean, it may be what it looks appearance from the outside, but more importantly, it's what you see looking out. If you have a beautiful view, you might not want that horizontal bar across a double hung, or you might not want that meeting rail in a slider. Whereas a casement or an awning, you get a big, nice piece of glass like you'd have in a picture window, but it still opens.
Yeah. So like I know when I was building the model for the company, we tried to think of everything we could think of, obviously because we're building a model home, and like in the kitchen where somebody's standing at a sink is a really kind of an ideal place if you have a double bowl sink in your kitchen to have a twin casement window there, because when you're looking out, when you're standing there doing the dishes or whatever, you're not looking into a bar going across the window. You're not staring at that. You're actually seeing full open glass on the that you're looking through. So these are things that you can think about, and these are the things that the folks at Armor are going to be able to suggest to you when you come in and talk to them about your plans, about what you'd like to do in your new addition, or what you'd like to do in the new home you're thinking of building, and these things. Their professionals are there to make recommendations and to talk to you and show you what all the options are. And so I would highly recommend you stop in up there to Armor at 7288 Seneca Road, or give them a call at 661-4114. They'd be glad to talk to you guys and talk with you about your needs for for the future or for now or whatever you might be thinking about doing regarding windows. Energy savings. Are all the products that you sell at Armor, are they all Energy Star windows? Rated to for Energy Star?
Rated Energy Star.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there differences between one Energy Star window and another?
Yes.
Because anybody can stick a sticker on something.
Yeah, the Energy Star rating is a minimum rating that you would be able to put in that qualifies for a tax credit.
Okay, that's the minimum. Like you said, it's the minimum.
Yes,
okay.
That they will allow you to qualify for a tax credit. So that will have at least the basic low-E and argon with it. As far as the glass is concerned, it'll have a certain air infiltration that's it's at least tighter than you're probably pulling out.
Right.
But it's far from the tightest products out there. We have ratings on windows that the least Energy Star for air infiltration is a 3.0, and take our Sunrise windows as a 0.02. It's actually 15 times tighter.
Wow, 15 times tighter. That's a huge difference.
It is huge. And the windows, most windows out there are closer to the looser brands.
Sure.
Than they are the tighter ones.
And something that I love, Eric, because I've sat in some window seminars at Armor, and as a contractor, you guys invite and you can come out and you can sit in these seminars and so on. Do you guys usually post those when they're going to be in the store? If a homeowner wanted to come out, one of these listeners wanted to come. I mean, because you guys have,
they're usually in the stores.
And how often do you guys do the Sunrise seminar where people can come in and learn about windows?
Well, every winter.
Yeah,
that's as far as the seminar goes, and a person can come in and learn about windows pretty much anytime he wants to come in.
Yeah, you guys can show them, because there's folks, if you've never really seen a demonstration of the differences in windows, even the windows that Armor sells, one window to the next, there's a difference in your windows.
Right.
I mean, you guys have a medium, what I would call a medium grade window, and then you have your, what I would say is the top window in the industry out there. At least it's in line with some of the other products that are out there for sure.
Yeah.
And I've read a lot about it online, and I like to put stuff in people's homes myself that I know I can stand by, and then I know that Armor's going to stand by, and I know that with Sunrise, I think it's one of the only windows, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, you would know better than me, that has a lifetime guarantee on the window, on everything to do with the window, basically.
It is one of the only ones on there. It's not one of the only ones that printed, but it's not a limited lifetime. It's a lifetime guarantee. It's
not limited.
Full on the glass, full on the frame, full on the parts, all the things that are limited. When you see limited, then start looking for what's
limited. Exactly.
Which is usually moving parts are 2 years, and glass is 5 or 10 or 15 years, and there's all kinds of limited. With Sunrise, as long as you own that home, something goes wrong with it, you can get those parts.
It's and I've actually had to use.
Sure.
And it's just painless. Literally, the new part comes in, boom, right in it goes, and there it is.
Well, you do a lot of windows.
I do a lot of windows.
And when people do a lot of windows, it's take having an issue with a half of 1%. When you put 1,000 windows in, you're going to see 15 problems. Okay.
It's just a law of numbers.
Yeah.
And that is true. And so getting back to energy savings, I would be willing to guess, if people have very old windows in their home, that you could actually see up to a 50% savings on your energy costs with new windows alone in the house.
And that would vary according to what you were pulling out. But
like I said, if you had poor old windows in your house, that are loose, they're you can feel you can see the curtains blowing at them.
At least with that type of window is something that we compare with all the time, and it's not unusual to have an older window that lets the air turn in the house. The whole batch of windows that lets the air turn in the house really 8 to 10 times on a winter day when it's blowing outside a little bit.
Could you explain that a little bit more, Eric, so people understand what you mean by the air turning over in the house?
When I say air infiltration,
because I know this is
any window that opens leaks a little bit.
Yes, they do.
Okay, and your average older window is a .70. That'll change the air in your house. Something like 10 times in a day due to what leaks through those windows.
Yep.
Doesn't have anything to do with how many times you go in and out of the door or whatever else leaks. It's with those windows. A new Sunrise window, for instance, will be less than a half a turn of all the air in your house will leak due to the windows.
See, that's huge. That's huge difference.
And to add to that, that's affects the number of times your furnace turns on, your air conditioner turns on, and people think of window. What do my windows save me on? Well, it saves not only on your heat bills and your air conditioning bills, but also on the life of your furnace, the life of your air conditioner. Obviously, if it's not running as much, it'll last longer.
Correct. Yeah, and the energy savings really is a factor that people really need to look at very, very strongly when they're going to, because you're not going to put windows in more than one time. It's an investment in your home.
You shouldn't have to.
No, you shouldn't have to. That's right, Eric. That's a better way to say it. You shouldn't have to put.
Have put them in more than once, but you shouldn't have to.
You shouldn't have to. Right. If you put the right windows in, you're done, and it's an investment in your home.
Right.
And with the right windows, it will bring value to your home.
Right.
And now, what about warranty? Is that transferable? If I want to transfer that warranty, if I sell my home, let's say I put $10,000 worth of windows in my house.
Yes.
I have 40 windows in my house, and I change them all.
It is transferable to the next homeowner.
It is. So there you go. So that's
You have to register that
Right,
online.
you have to do
It's
that.
an easy thing.
No big deal to do.
Register the transfer.
Perfect.
And I think we do have paper version of that transfer
Yeah,
if
we
you
do.
absolutely need
So
it.
that's perfect. So, folks, you can not only have a warranty for yourself, but if you sell your home, you can put right in the description, brand new Energy Star Sunrise windows, and with a lifetime warranty that is transferable, that goes right on to the next owner. That's valuable because most of them will not.
Right.
That are out there.
Right. And with Sunrise, too, if you ever notice in the bottom corner, it's got etched right in the glass, Sunrise windows. They don't hide it. You go to most vinyl windows, try to figure out what window it is.
Oh, I'm telling you. I am telling you, because I've had people say to me, what kind of windows do I have now? I'm looking at the things going, I don't know, old ones? I don't know. They're you know.
Right,
Usually put a paper sticker that lasts about a month.
Yeah, so, this is a good company, and it's a company that I definitely promote. And Bullfrog Construction and the folks here at your home, we believe in the window. And so let's talk for just a second about argon gas and low E glass. Those are the buzzwords that came out a number of years ago. And what is argon gas and what is low E glass? What does it do for us? What's the benefits of this?
Argon gas you'll find in a lot of windows, and argon gas is an inert gas that really is just denser air. It's denser than air, so it insulates the space in between, and it stops the convection that happens in an airspace. It stops it from turning and going warm to cold, so that definitely helps improve. Low E glass is different types of metallic coating on glass. There's a lot of different types of low E. Most of it is done today with a tin oxide coating that is fired in the glass when it's made. It's very easy to handle. It's the cheapest way to make it, and it does improve it a little bit. But the good coatings today are a silver oxide that are applied afterwards. They're much more reflective, and they're very microscopic.
Right.
But the good coatings, I mean, they put them on in multi-layers, and they lay them certain ways, so they're just getting the best reflectivity. They'll have numerous panes of glass that'll have the low E coatings on them.
Yep.
And, so that's where you can look, as you've seen the glass kit before where we show the heat lamp, the pieces of glass that look the same, they just react totally different to heat waves.
And that is such a cool display when you see it. It's you're looking at two pieces of glass and they look identical to you and I, and they're not even close to being identical. The performance of the windows because of the the coating and
you mentioned
so on
us
and so
having seminars for windows in there, and that's one of the biggest things. What we find is the average person, when they see these products and they can see them in a way that they can understand them, everybody is going to get the better products.
Yeah, it's good. Well, it makes sense.
Our seminar is to actually teach people how to show and make and let the homeowner be able to actually learn about this stuff.
And again, we spend a lot of time training our staff on all our windows and all our products. So if anybody's out there that wants to stop in, everybody that's working at our store knows the ins and outs of these windows and can help any individual on any day.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. I'm Elise McCollumn from Bullfrog Construction, and we will be right back.
Are your windows hard to open? And some do open, but won't stay open.
Oh, boy.
Honey, call Bullfrog.
Are your windows drafty and cold?
Honey, call Bullfrog.
Is cleaning your windows a real pain? And have you had enough of high fuel bills?
Honey, call Bullfrog.
At Bullfrog, we make replacing your windows both easy and affordable and can save you up to 50% off your fuel bills. Never requires painting and makes cleaning a breeze. Call Bullfrog today for a free quote at 585-737-4553. That's 585-737-4553. Ask about Bullfrog's free window promotion going on right now. At Bullfrog, your pad is our priority.
And we are back. I'd like to thank you for joining us this morning here on Your Home. I'm your host, Elise McCollumn from Bullfrog Construction. I'm joined here this morning by Jeff Button and Eric Piscaro from Armor Building Supply, located at 7288 Seneca Road North in Hornell. Give the pros at Armor a call, 607-661-4114, 607-661-4114. We're having a great conversation about windows this morning. Hopefully you guys are picking up some great tips, and hopefully you'll stop up and take a look at these products that these guys have. And this morning, I'd like to help our listeners to better understand the windows buying do's and don'ts. So I'm going to be giving away a free ebook to our listeners. So you guys are going to be able to go on the WLEA site, and you're going to see a link there for the free ebook, Things You Need to Know Before You Buy Replacement Windows by Joe Mills. That's Things You Need to Know Before Buying Replacement Windows by Joe Mills. He is actually, Joe is the Director of Marketing for Sunrise Windows, and he's been in sales, marketing, and management for over 30 years. He's personally sold and installed over thousands of windows, and has taught others how to evaluate and choose windows for their home. The ebook represents his personal opinions, of course, on how the best process for homeowners to use when researching the purchase of new windows. Hey, nothing's going to be better than stopping in up there at Armour, though, and taking a look firsthand. But this ebook is good. It's going to give you some do's and don'ts. It's going to talk about, the differences in the windows for those who like to read and so on and so forth. So you could go on the WLEA site, WLEA.net. You'll see a link there for your home, and you'll see this ebook on there free for download for you guys. So let's talk for just a second about all the numbers that we see on these windows. You get a sticker on the window. You're looking at it, and there's all of these numbers on there. What do all these numbers mean?
Well, one of the more important ones is the U value number, and that number is the lower the number, the better. And the U value is a thermal measurement. It's kind of, most people are aware of R value. The higher they are, the better it is. Well, U is the opposite. The lower the U, and it's very similar in meaning. I mean, the lower the U, the better insulated that piece of glass is.
So that's regarding the glass.
That regards the whole unit. That regards the whole unit on when you see a tag on the window.
Okay.
So again, the lower the U value, the better the window is. Then you'll see a SC number. That's the shading coefficient. And generally speaking, that tells you how much daylight comes through it. Now, the more you coat a glass, sometimes you'll see glass gets a little bit darker.
It does.
And your better coated will be a little bit darker.
From the outside especially.
Yeah,
I see it's more noticeable from the outside of the house than it is from the inside of the house.
Absolutely.
I actually like the look of that a little bit on the outside because it's on my house. It has a nice, not really tinted, but it has a little bit of a shade difference, which looks really sharp on the house.
And that's the silver oxide I'm talking about. It's reflective.
Yeah, very nice.
It looks more like a mirror.
The air infiltration rate, then, is the...
Air infiltration rate is generally not posted. Mostly because...
Well, why? Why don't they post that number, Jeffrey?
Most people aren't very proud of it.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The biggest names are some of the least...
the biggest offenders.
They're some of the least height.
Yeah.
And when, any government agency needs to make new ratings, it's usually the big boys in that business come in and help them write it. Okay, and they've been effective in keeping the air infiltration rate off of that.
Now, when you're researching windows, you can go to nfrc.org, where you can look up all the ratings on windows and compare. It's actually set up pretty nice to compare. You do have to know exactly the model number of the window you're looking at, but you can actually set them side by side and compare the numbers. And that's the official government agency that evaluates windows.
And what is that address again, Jeff?
nfrc.org.
nfrc.org. Write that down, folks. nfrc.org. And what do they need? The model number of the window or the name?
You need the name and a series number. So if you're looking at, a Sunrise actually is they just have 2 series. So it's easy. But you get into Anderson and they have 300 different series windows. You got to know you're looking at a 200, a 400, or a Pro Line, or what you're looking at.
I got it. So, cost versus benefits, they're relative then, you would say, pretty much.
Like I said, typically your better window is a little more costly, but that's the one that will pay you back the fastest.
Yes, and by paying back, we're talking about your energy efficiency, savings, your savings.
Maintenance that you won't be having to do on this down the road, and they last a lot longer, a better built window.
Absolutely.
There is one slight exception to that rule, and that is some of these bigger companies we've all heard the names of. Not that they don't make good windows, but they make some bad ones too. But a lot of times you're paying for that advertising. They've got multi-million-dollar advertising campaigns, and a lot of times
always paying for it.
You can find a better window with a lesser name.
So, folks, again, you're going to spend your hard-earned money Windows are an investment. And I would highly suggest that you do some research before you just buy. It's going to pay you back in spades, and I would suggest you shoot up to Armor and take a look at them at least. Let them talk to you. Let the professionals show you the comparisons, talk about the windows before you make a decision. Certainly, you could always call Bullfrog. We'd be glad to come out. We do the demonstration as well. We can show you different windows and what you have versus what you would be getting, so on and so forth. So we're glad to do that as well.
Well, you hit a good point there, Elise. Just as important as buying a good product is having it put in a quality installation.
Yes.
Every bit as important.
Absolutely. And let's talk about that for a second. What makes a quality installation, Eric? I mean, can't I just take the window and get the old one out, stick it in, put a couple screws in it, put the trim back around it, and I got a brand new window. It's beautiful now.
Yeah, and with that scenario right there, you got a brand new window with the air blowing right around it nicely, and it doesn't do a lot.
Absolutely.
There are today's, tricks of the trade, I guess you may call them, but there's the foam injection that you can put on there that really stops the air from. Yep. There's nothing worse than putting in a good window and paying good money for it and putting it in, having the air come blowing right around it.
What about the cores around the outside of it, where you take, you got the big holes where you take you take the weights out and stuff,
A person should fill those.
They should fill those.
Yes.
Okay.
Polyurethane spray foam in the can for windows and doors.
Folks, did you mark that down? Please take note of that.
We have ways of doing that relatively easy.
Yep.
Do a great job.
We do that at Bullfrog.
Yep.
And it's important because that's part of the integrity of getting the new window in there and having a good job done. Not everything is equal. Most anybody can stick a window in. But whether they put it in the right way, if they adjust the window properly, there's adjustments on windows. People a lot of times don't even know there's an adjustment on the window.
Right.
And it's just important when you're doing these things and you're making this investment that that you try to choose carefully and you're choosing somebody that's going to do a good job for you. The next thing I want to talk about for just a second, we got another break coming up here in just a minute. We're going to be running out of time before too long, is the styles, colors, glass types, the trims that are available out there. What do you guys got? We see the typical white on white windows,
which is the typical vinyl window is typical white on white window.
Yeah, white on the outside, white on the inside, folks.
That's their offering, and sometimes they offer ivory also.
Right.
But you get into, for instance, the Sunrise. There, we got 6 different wood grains. We have
160 different color combinations.
Yeah. For the exterior, you got greens and reds today.
Wow.
Some are vinyl capstock for the outside, and some are a paint. But it's a special made paint that's going to last on the window, and so you can get any of those options. That there's plenty of buildings that they want some color to it.
Yes.
The wood grains on the inside with 6 different wood
beautiful.
Grains, it's almost like there's very rarely do we run into a wood interior that we can't match up to.
Yeah, beautiful.
And it looks good, and it's done when you put it in there. Nobody's got to go back in and stain it and varnish it.
That's right.
Or 10 years down the road.
Yep,
it's done.
It's some of the stuff is just beautiful that's out there, and folks, let's say that you've got a few windows in the house that you have beautiful old trim in your house, and you'd like to. And Jeff, you've seen some of those situations with Bullfrog, where people have beautiful woodwork in their home, and a white window would just look out of place in that spot. The suggestion can be that they put in a window with a wood grain that looks like the rest of the house. It looks like a regular, and a lot of times, folks, if you have a certain profile in the house, we can duplicate that profile in that window by sending it off to the company and showing them, what we'd like, and we can build those windows custom to make your house look.
You're referring to like grids and
things we can do to duplicate what the old look of the window was.
A Tudor house.
Yeah, sure.
With the diamond grids. Basically, the sky's the limit with Sunrise in particular. They have a lot of options.
They do.
In grids and glass and decorative glass. Interior trim packages.
What's an interior trim package? What does that mean?
So in a new construction, or you could use it in a replacement construction, they have a one-piece hardwood stained to match the wood grain.
Hardwood, not plastic.
Or painted interior trim unit that is fully complete, furniture grade. You install the window and you turn around and put this trim on, and all your work's done. It's instead of it taking maybe an hour to trim out a window, it takes you 5 minutes. It's a simple installation. Basically, the companies pre-building it for you in furniture grade.
All out of hardwood, matching everything inside,
Right.
and
Beautiful product.
it's a beautiful product.
Whether it be a new home or an
They
old-
have this at Armor. You can stop up and take a look at it. Hey, folks, looking costs nothing. Being educated costs nothing. To understand before you make a value purchase like this, you need to stop out and take a look. We are going to take another quick break. This is Your Home. I'm Elise McCollumn, and we will be right back.
Are your windows hard to open? And some do open, but won't stay open.
Oh boy.
Honey, call Bullfrog.
Are your windows drafty and cold?
Honey, call Bullfrog.
Is cleaning your windows a real pain? And have you had enough of high fuel bills?
Honey, call Bullfrog.
At Bullfrog, we make replacing your windows both easy and affordable and can save you up to 50% off your fuel bills. Never requires painting and makes cleaning a breeze. Call Bullfrog today for a free quote at 585-737-4553. That's 585-737-4553. Ask about Bullfrog's free window promotion going on right now. At Bullfrog, your pad is our priority.
And we're back. I would like to thank you for joining us this morning here on Your Home. I'm the host, Elise from Bullfrog Construction, and I'm joined this morning by Jeff Button and Eric Piscaro from Armor Building Supply. And they are located up on Seneca Road, 7288 Seneca Road North, just across the bridge in North Hornell, and their number 607-661-4114. We're talking windows this morning. So, guys, let's change pace just for a second here, and let's just talk about some of the other products that Armor has up there under the roof up there. And I really appreciate the info on the windows, guys. I just can't stress enough how important it is for people to take a look at everything and have a good understanding before they go forward with new windows. Let's talk about some of the other products you guys have.
Oh, we carry a full line of asphalt shingles, and matter of fact, a few full lines of asphalt shingles. It's not just the dimensionals that you see now. Now, we have a high wind shingle that's there, which is, storms seem to be getting worse.
Which I like.
So, when we carry the full line of that in there, we have a crown slate that's, again, an asphalt shingle that looks more like a slate. We got the full line of that. In shingles, we also, in roofing, we have steel roofing in a few different profiles.
Which you guys have a fab shop there where you actually you manufacture all of the metal roofing right on site.
Right. And we can measure it to custom lengths and fit your roof right to the inch of what you
Very
need to
important, folks. Make a note. If you're thinking of a metal roof, you give them the measurements. They'll cut all the metal, and it goes right on at that point. Nothing's going to be easier. They take a lot of the tough work out of it for you.
Yeah, and in all of our markets, except for Hornell, we get it in 3 days or less. In Hornell, you usually can pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah,
or have it delivered also.
Yeah, where can you do that? Not anywhere that I'm aware of. Now, Eric, your process. You guys have a little different process with your metal than some of the others do out there. When you actually run the metal through the machine off the coil and you're spitting these panels out.
We call it a warm roll process, and we keep all the coils, the metal coils that we work with we call it the hot box, a big room, and we keep it all 82 degrees. And then we put it on there, and we have radiant heaters, and we're trying to raise it to the upper 80s. So that it's the coating, the Galvalume coating that's on the metal, and the paint itself is very flexible. So when we manufacture it, we don't beat it up right then and there. It's very flexible, and it comes through without the microscopic cracks that always is there if you don't do it in a warm roll process. And even in the summer, you're not. It's very rare we're out there roll forming in the building at 90 degrees. So we heat it, we keep it heated, and put the radiant heat on in July just as well as we do in January. And then we clear coat the edges because it just takes.
Because that's where it fails.
Well, the edges they're a little bit open for a few months while there's a thing called a galvanic reaction taking place that seals off the edges. So we clear coat it so it's not rusting before that happens.
See, wow, folks, that's right here in Hornell. I mean, we're producing all the metal for Armor right here in Hornell for 5 locations.
Right.
Again, Batavia, Canandaigua, Olean, Elmira, and Hornell. We're producing all of that right here in Hornell for all those locations.
Right.
And so What do folks need to do if they're interested in a metal roof? Just bring in the measurements and pick out a color, and you guys.
We have a full showroom there that can help them go through the type of panel they want, the color they want. Probably a person would come in and take a look first, and then understand what they need to do, and go back and measure it and get it.
Fabulous.
There's a bunch of different, trims and things you can use, and they all might be right in the right situation.
But you guys can help somebody if they come in with a picture of their house or they show you something. You guys can help them along.
Yeah.
Do any of your sales guys ever go out to a customer's house and kind of look at the house and say, hey, you might need this or this over here? I mean, you guys don't actually measure the house for them, but can you say, you need this trim here or this trim here?
Yeah, so we get involved with that, and we're always a big fan of whoever's going to actually, if you're going to do it yourself, then you need to understand where you need to measure to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether that be that roof or whether it's windows.
Yep.
If you're going to have a contractor do it, then let's have that person there, because one contractor might order a piece an inch longer than another one, and it's important to them.
Yeah. Sure. So that's another question that I wanted to ask you guys. Is Armor just for contractors? I mean, because there seems to be out there, some people think that Armor is just a place where contractors can go and buy, which is not true, right?
Absolutely not. We're open to the public.
Yeah.
Anybody can stop.
What are the hours up there at Armor?
Right now, we're at 7:30 to 5 o'clock. We're open 5 days a week and Saturdays till noon. Soon we'll be changing to winter hours where we won't be open Saturdays anymore, and I think we're
open at 8.
Open at 8 instead of
7:30, you'll be opening at 8.
8 to 5.
Still open to 5 weekdays, closed on Saturday. Right. But throughout in the non-winter hours, you guys are open from 7:30 until 5 and open till noon on Saturdays.
Right.
So, guys, they're located up at 7288 Seneca Road North, just outside of across the bridge in North Thornell, the old Elsenheimer Chevrolet building, actually, and 661-4114 is their number. I really appreciated you guys coming on today. Anything new for going on at Armor for introducing for the next year? Is there any exciting products coming out? I mean, I get kind of excited with new building products. Some people don't, but I do.
With the success of steel roofing and siding, in particular steel, we're bringing on a stone-coated steel shingle that we'll be having in stock for people to choose from for next year.
A stone-coated steel shingle.
Right.
Explain that to me.
Well, it looks just like your asphalt shingle, but it is steel. And one thing I tell you, we just went through in Batavia. We had a storm in March that just blew the shingles off probably 1 out of 4 buildings, and that didn't happen with metal. The metal was screwed on. It stayed in place. So people are requesting this, and and the manufacturers. I mean, there's getting more manufacturers that are making more products that are more residential friendly with steel. Go back a few years, and it was all commercial, and it was all.
I see it on the outside of people's houses. I mean, not on the roof. I mean, they're putting it on the walls as siding on the houses.
Yeah.
And folks, I've used metal when I wanted, because the industrial look inside of lofts and apartments these days is quite popular, and I've used metal as a runner around cabinets and things. The ribbed metal looks really industrial. It's kind of a cool look. So there's a lot of different things today that you can do with the metal, and Armor has. How many colors do you guys have up there?
I believe we got 15 colors plus bare galvalume.
Bare galvalume, and you've got 15 colors to choose from up there. And so you got the crinkle coat colors too, which are
we have 3 crinkle
colors, and those are really sharp looking as well.
Yes.
Jeff, could you give the Armor number one more time for us?
Yeah, it's 607-661-4114, and it's right there at 7288 Seneca Road North in Hornell.
Hey, guys, be sure to stop by and meet the professionals at Armor. They're ready, willing, and able to help you complete your next project or to plan for your next project. And I would like to thank my special guest this morning, Jeff. Thanks, and Eric, my very special guest, Eric, for coming on the show today. It was great. I got a seasoned veteran sitting here, Jeff, as well, from Armor Building Supply. I appreciate you both giving me this morning some time. And most importantly, guys, I'd like to thank the listeners. You guys always are why we're doing this show, for tuning into your home this morning. It's been a great 30 minutes. Hopefully we'll give you some great tips and advice. Be sure to get the ebook that I mentioned. Bri, thanks so much for everything you do in there at the controls and the folks here at WLEA. Guys, join us on November 25th at 9:30 a.m. That is the next show. We will be kicking off the holidays with a very special show for you guys. I'm really excited about that. So mark your calendars. This is one you're not going to want to miss. My name is Elise McCollumn from Bullfrog Construction, your host here on Your Home. Have a super weekend, and remember, a house is made of bricks and beams. A home is made of hopes and dreams. Till next time, have a great day. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.